We are in Catalonia, in Manresa, in català. Let me please say bon dia, benvinguts, benvingudes. Gràcies a l'organització per convidar-nos. Gràcies als tècnics pel vostre suport. And just to start, just say thank you for the invitation. Welcome everybody. Thanks to the technicians. And we'd like to encourage the organization for next conferences that instead of using one of the majority languages, English or Spanish, I know it's an effort, an logistic effort, but maybe try to reflect any language be heard and listen, and maybe, of course, translated, because this is what we are talking about. And from our organization, Collective Assembly, who started 2 years ago, we like to say that Catalan, we consider it a minoritized language, not a minority language. Over our point of view, you know the minoritization process that we have been suffering in the Catalan, especially last 70 years. Okay, why our project started 2 years ago, and we share with you, especially the three figures who gave sense to this project. Catalonia actually has 8 million inhabitants, and the data says that only 32% is actually speaking Catalan. If we see the numbers around 80 years ago, it was 90%. So it's obvious and evident decrease of the Catalan speakers, and this is not stopped. So we call this an emergency linguistic. We consider that, and we said, hey, so going on, I have to do something, or let's try to do something. The people, of course, governments, they do something too, but you know, Catalonia is an independent country, so each law starts must go clear, and when you say it's okay, but when you can do that. So we are citizens, there are conditions, what can we do with the people? The other data that for us is one of the most important data is actually that 93% of the people who live in Catalonia, not temporarily in Catalonia, who live, doesn't matter where they come from, understand Catalan. This is very, very important for a minoritized language, and we have to use that. This is a weapon, a good weapon that we have to revitalize the Catalan. The third data, most important for us, is that the Catalan speakers, 80%, we consider very sometimes 90%, they switch to the Spanish immediately at the first impression. When they listen to somebody speaking Spanish, they change. Or even sometimes, just see a person of different color skin, or they refuse that it's not, he won't understand Catalan, they change to Spanish. So what happens? That many of the people who could speak Catalan doesn't speak Catalan, so Catalan disappears from the interactions. Okay, so there's a kind of we call paradoxal, because we have a linguistic emergency, but everybody switches to Spanish when 90% or more understands you. So, okay, but is that many of the people, Catalan speakers, what we say that, hey, everybody lost, they do understand, they say, oh really, I didn't know that, so you must know that. Well, just speak Catalan, and if there's any problem, somebody doesn't understand, you can change, but not start changing, okay? So linguistics call these two languages normal to the dominant language. What happens? That the people who speak the minoritized language switch to the majority. When the people is asked why they do this, we call it weight. Failure is weight. It's habit. People say because of politeness, respect, or sometimes for fear they will be honest. But we make sure that people believe they do it for that, but it's not for that. This is because a process of recitation that has been sustained for many, many years. So at the end, people think this is because of a disrespectful situation, but it's interesting to see that when I start a conversation speaking Catalan, and the other person who understands Catalan but answers me in Spanish, we don't consider that disrespectful. But yes, it's considered very respectful when somebody starts a conversation to me in Spanish and I answer in Catalan, because we usually understand they say that's disrespectful. But many of you know our beloved Jaume, who was a lovely linguistic in Catalonia. She helped us to understand that. He said, no, it is not disrespectful to speak your own language. What is disrespectful to ask others not to speak their language. Quite interesting, set up. What about the disrespectful rejection of things? Okay, we consider why people switch to Spanish is due to the linguistic heritization. It's not a moment for now, for it, but historical, political, social events around the century, especially last canviar, etc. has done heritage. It has done a learning habits. For example, when I was a child, I was working with my grandfather. He was going to a store and said, "Good morning, Catalan." I said, "Hello, the Spanish country switch so far." I was just learning that behavior. I had no idea what was going on that, so I adopted that too. So when we talk about the linguistic empowerment, because we consider this is a habit that people have learned, has in their insight, in their mind. It's like some of you sometimes have tried to quit smoking. It's an habit, I do smoke. So what we do is be aware about that habit, take the decision, I want to change my habits, start looking for techniques and strategies, maybe sometimes some help, and try it, try it, and get it. So that's what people see is happening. This 80% of the people who switch so fast, it's a habit they have in them inside, they are not aware of that. And our conferences and our workshops in linguistic involvement works in that way. First of all, set up the situation that you understand why they are doing that. We set in front of all, are stupid, because back to us, Catalan, we are stupid. Why they do that? Well, they do that for some reason. And this is a process that have been living, you and your ancestors, sometimes not ancestors, but your before generations. What is happening to you is that. So, one of the things that happens, we discover the language bubble. You see maybe Danny goes to Barcelona and everybody is speaking Spanish, but with a Spanish accent. Say, oh, he's not Catalan, let's talk to him in Spanish. And after 1 year, I would meet Danny. Danny, of course, going on with the Catalan, he'll say, I have any interaction with Catalan. Everybody's talking to me in Spanish, especially in Barcelona or the big cities. There's a language bubble around him, and what's doing is that makes it visible at Catalan. And when something is invisible, it's unnecessary. It makes it necessary if you don't live in new speakers. So first, we need to keep speaking Catalan who speaks Catalan, and then help that somebody starts speaking Catalan. But there is something really important that, especially that happens in Catalonia, it's not happening in many places of the world, that two people speak two different languages and they understand each other. This is very important. So it's no hybrid language. To me, it happens every day. I go to buy every bread. Bon dia, good morning in Catalan. It doesn't say good morning, buenos días in Spanish. I say one bread. I say which one? I'm talking in Catalan, he's talking in Spanish. I pay, I get my bread, and I get out, nothing happening. I have my bread and I'm here. That's functional. That's a bilingual, functional conversation, which is very important. Because in that social conversation, Catalan appears. If Johan is there and listens to it, you say, oh, this guy, why is talking? He's talking Catalan, okay? And nothing happened. But many of the Catalans think before going to the store, oh, any word they want to understand, there is an anxiety level, and it doesn't happen that maybe those Spanish speakers are thinking, oh, is this guy want to understand me? No, they want to understand you for sure. And this slow or not much low anxiety level makes that you want to quit that anxiety. Oh, if you switch, no problem. So, why for that reason we talk about empowering linguistics? Because if you get that change and you speak Catalan like your breath, that means not being aware. This is that power. You are a linguistic, like you're a foreign linguistic, that you do in our workshops. So, more or less, I don't know who's the 10, but, and of course, Swahili. and in a natural way, because we always say that anything that's going with your heart and done natural, it just works well. So today is Guillem, who is living actually in Oregon, and like he was here because he's a doctor in Minoritzades languages, but he said maybe when I leave the country I cannot come back. Laura is a social activist, and Clara and me, we are psychologists, and we need to bring to this project different points of view, create this tool, and you can follow us between Instagram and Cultura linguístic. Thank you very much.